Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. The series is about four brothers who are mutant turtles and are trained to be ninjas by their master Splinter. And when I mean by ninjas, I mean very violent ninjas. Of course, this comic series would inspire the 1987's cartoon, and after that, we would get the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in 1990. This was my first introduction to the Turtles themselves, and I still think that's a great movie to this day. Since then, we have gotten many other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, as recently as Mutant Mayhem. But let's talk about the first animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, TMNT, from 2007, and why it deserves way more love than it gets nowadays. When this movie first came out, it was the fourth movie since the last three in the 90s. The studio responsible for this movie was Amaji Studios, an animation studio located around Hong Kong and have since then closed their doors. The reasoning for their closure was because of their second and final movie, Astro Boy, which didn't do very good at the box office. But TMNT was the first movie that they made. So what's the movie about? Well, let's just say that the story is one of the weakest parts of the movie, and I'm going to try my best to explain it. In ancient times, there was a warlord who opened a portal because every 3,000 years, the stars would align and create this portal with 13 monsters that would be unleashed, and because of this, his army would turn into stone, and he would also become an immortal, never to die until he would capture all 13 monsters. So you might be asking, what does this have to do with the Turtles? Well, actually nothing until like near the end of the movie, but we'll get to that in a bit. After Shredder's defeat, the Turtles grow apart from each other. Leonardo's in Costa Rica, Donatello does phone services, Michelangelo goes to kids' parties as a mascot, and Raphael is known as the Night Watcher. The Foot Clan are still around, but they now work for the Immortal Warlord, who hires them so that they can capture all 13 monsters that are just roaming around New York. I guess his lazy ass had better things to do over the past 3,000 years. April and Casey are still a couple, but April isn't a news reporter anymore. She deals with like ancient artifacts, which is how the Warlord gets his stone army back and brings them back to life so that they can help him capture all 13 monsters. Later on into the film, they turn their backs on him so that they can rule the world because they think he's weak. This just comes out of nowhere, and they are suddenly just the villains of the movie. The Immortal Warlord isn't doing anything evil, he's just capturing the 13 monsters so that he can die peacefully. And there's just no build up towards the army wanting to become evil. It's not done very well, and it feels like if it was thrown in at the last minute. Anyways, Leo returns from Costa Rica to reunite with his brothers. They go out during the night and run into the Foot Clan, along with one of the monsters. Now, this is when the Turtles are now thrown into the Immortal Warlord side of the story of the movie. Now, up to this point, Leo knows about the Night Watcher, but he does not know that it's actually Raphael. Now, he's not a big fan of the Night Watcher. So once Leo finally meets up with the Night Watcher, they eventually fight each other. And of course, Leo wins by punching him in the face and revealing that it was Raphael. Leo is surprised by this, and they start fighting again and arguing. After that, Leo gets left behind by Raphael and gets captured by the Stone Army and the Foot Clan. Raphael is able to get help by his brothers, along with Master Splinter, April, and Casey. Once they arrive there to the Warlord's lair, they are able to rescue Leonardo and get his help to defeat the Stone Army before they take over the world, which is the plan for whatever reason. But eventually they are defeated by April and Casey getting the final monster and putting them into the portal where the stars align, and thanks to this, the Warlord is able to die peacefully, and the movie finally ends with the Turtles accepting each other. So the story is not very good. There's so much going on that it's hard for the audience to understand and focus on what they are supposed to be focusing on when it comes to the plot of the movie, which is all over the place. While the story is not good, there is a lot to appreciate about this movie. For starters, the animation is beautiful. When it comes to the rainy night falls and the beautiful neon lights, it truly makes the movie pop. And throughout the entire movie, the animation is done very well. Especially for its low budget, it's still a great looking movie. The character designs are well done, the voice acting is pretty good, and while the dialogue can be pretty corny, it's kind of expected when it comes to this franchise. Now I want to ask the question, which movie is better? TMNT or Mutant Mayhem? And for me, I would say Mutant Mayhem. Not because it has better animation, but because it has a better story when it comes to focusing on its characters and the high stakes that they deal with. It's just a better movie than TMNT. While this is true, this isn't going to stop me from enjoying the movie. I think that it's a pretty decent movie and they definitely tried. Overall, it deserves a score of a 6 out of 10. And I would say give it a watch, especially if you are a fan of TMNT. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching and I will see you all next time. Bye.